$5 billion. Let me slow down right there because I don't think people actually grasp what just happened. $5 billion didn't just wander into XRP. It flooded in like a tidal wave, like a dam breaking, like someone pulled the plug on the sideline liquidity and said, unleash it all now. And boom, XRP's market cap jumps from $180 billion to nearly $186 billion in under 24 hours. That's not a little green candle on your CoinMarketCap screen. That's a global repricing event. That's whales, that's institutions, that's smart money that doesn't care about your Twitter FUD or your Telegram hopium. They just moved decisively, and they told you with their wallets where this thing is going. Welcome back to another episode of Gold Rush Crypto Daily. And I'm telling you, today is not just another day. Today is one of those moments you're going to look back on 6 months from now and say, that was it. That was the flip. That was the spark before the wildfire. I've got two monster articles in front of me, both dropping within hours of each other, and they're painting the exact same picture. XRP is no longer the underdog coin fighting court battles. XRP just kicked open the gates of Wall Street, marched right into the center of the financial machine, and planted its flag. All right. First one. This comes straight out of Finbold. Headline reads, $5 billion floods into XRP in a day. Here's why. Now, headlines are designed to make you click, but in this case, that headline undersells it. Because this isn't just $5 billion. This is $5 billion triggered by something historic. Let me break it down. XRP climbs from $3 to $3.10 in a day. You think, oh, that's just 10 cents. Wrong. That 10 cents represents a 57% surge in trading activity, $7.21 billion in volume, and an immediate shift in market psychology. That's not some retail degen pumping, that's big money repositioning. And here's the nuclear detail. The REX-Osprey XRP ETF, ticker $XRPR, finally goes live. After delays, after speculation, after whispers, it's here, and not some half-baked knockoff. This is a registered investment company ETF holding XRP alongside cash and treasuries. You know what that means? It means mom and pop investors, pension funds, retirement accounts, all the people who have never touched a crypto wallet in their life can now say, hey broker, put me in some XRP exposure. No keys, no exchanges, no FUD, just click, buy, done. Let that sink in. You've got an asset that's been smeared, dragged through courts, laughed at, written off, and now Wall Street just legitimized it with a ticker symbol. You don't think that's bullish? That's not just bullish. That's historic. Analysts are already saying this ETF launch means three things. Number one, regulated exposure for U.S. investors. Do you realize how huge that is? For years, the excuse has been, oh, we can't touch XRP. It's too risky. SEC this, lawsuit that. Well, guess what? Now there's a clean, regulated on-ramp. Excuse obliterated. Number two, it shows growing institutional acceptance even while Gary Gensler sits there dragging his feet on spot approvals. The SEC can delay all they want, but capital doesn't wait. Number three, it's already sparking ETF-driven trading activity in the spot market. That's where the $5 billion comes from. This isn't retail FOMO. This is institutional repositioning. And let me hammer this. Analysts say the key test is whether $XRPR sustains $200 million daily volume. Let me laugh for a second. 200 million? XRP just did over 7 billion in 24 hours. We already crushed that bar on day one. This is like asking a rocket if it can handle a speed bump. It's not just clearing the bar, it's obliterating it. Now the technicals. This part makes me grin because while the news cycle screams ETF, the charts are quietly lining up like dominoes. XRP just broke above its 7-day moving average at $3.06. Broke past the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement at $3.07. MACD flips positive. RSI at 57. Translation. There's gas in the tank and we're not even close to overheating. Immediate resistance at $3.18, but once we clear that, the door to $3.48 is wide open. And if you've been in this game long enough, you know Fibonacci extensions don't lie. Once you unlock the 127.2% comma, you're gunning for higher levels. That's how traders think, and that's how algorithms trade. So that's Article 1. Already insane. 5 billion in, ETF live, technicals confirming, but then Article 2 drops. 36 crypto, headline, big day tomorrow for XRP, here's what's coming. Published literally the day after the Finbold piece. And this one doesn't just echo the hype, it amplifies it. Tomorrow, and I'm quoting here, marks a significant moment for the XRP community as the much-anticipated XRP ETF officially launches, managed by REX shares and Osprey funds. Initially delayed, but now ready to go. Let me stop right there. Do you realize how rare it is for an ETF tied to a so-called controversial crypto to actually make it past the red tape? Bitcoin ETFs got delayed for years, Ethereum ETFs got chewed on, but XRP, despite everything, the lawsuit, the politics, the food, it's here and it's here now. And check this, Bloomberg's James Seyffart confirms these ETFs are structured as registered investment companies. This isn't the same as Bitcoin or Ethereum ETFs, it's a whole different framework, and that's bullish. Why? Because it opens new pools of capital that can't touch the other structures. This isn't just copy Bitcoin's playbook. This is invent a new playbook just for XRP. You can't make this up. And here's the killer line. The XRP ETF could solidify XRP's role in the broader financial market. Not in crypto, not in your little altcoin bubble, in the broader financial market. That's Wall Street. That's global finance. That's XRP stepping out of the shadow of Bitcoin and Ethereum and saying, I'm here, I belong, and I'm not leaving. But wait, it gets even crazier. CME Group, yes, the same CME that launched Bitcoin futures in 2017 and flipped the whole market on its head, just added XRP futures options. Alongside Solana, full-size and micro-size contracts, daily, monthly, quarterly expirations. You know what that is? That's institutional flexibility. That's giving hedge funds, trading desks, family offices every tool they need to hedge, speculate, and load up on XRP. Futures plus ETF, that's a 1-2 punch of legitimacy. That's integration into the deepest liquidity pools on the planet. So now we've got two articles. One shows the capital already flooding in. The other shows the infrastructure locking into place. Together, that's not just bullish, that's generational. That's re-rating territory. Let me connect the dots. Bitcoin got CME futures in 2017. Price exploded to $20K. Ethereum got CME futures in 2021. Price exploded to $4.8 thousand. XRP now gets ETF plus CME futures in the same cycle. Tell me what happens next. Tell me how XRP stays at $3 when the entire market structure just got rewritten. You can't, because it doesn't. Mark my words, $3.48 is the short-term technical, $5 is the psychological, $10 is the breakout. And if this ETF locks in consistent inflows, if CME options pick up traction, if whales keep rotating billions, we're not talking about $10. We're talking about XRP rewriting its 88th. We're talking $20, $50, maybe even triple digits in the long arc. Laugh now, but that's exactly what they said about Bitcoin at $1,000. Exactly what they said about Ethereum at $200. Exactly what they said about XRP the last time it ran from cents to dollars in a blink. So the question is not, is XRP bullish? The question is, are you ready? Because when the herd wakes up, when CNBC starts blasting XRP ETF launches across every ticker, when Bloomberg anchors start fumbling the word Osprey, when retail finally realizes what institutions already know, it's too late. You're either in or you're crying on the sidelines. Remember, this is just my opinion, not financial advice. Don't risk what you can't afford to lose. But I'll say it again, $5 billion in one day, ETF live tomorrow, CME futures in play. This is the kill shot moment. XRP isn't waiting, the whales aren't waiting, and if you're waiting, you're already behind.